Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sip and Talk.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Ready for another deep dive with me and Sunny?
I am. But first, tell me, have you tried that new ramen place downtown yet?
Are you kidding? Of course I have.
And Jacana.
What did you think?
They make their noodles in-house.
In-house? Wow, that's serious dedication.
Seriously, it's unbelievable how good they are.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list for sure.
You won't regret it, trust me.
But enough about delicious food for now, right?
Right. Today we're actually going to be diving into something a little more abstract.
Ooh, getting philosophical, are we?
You could say that. We're talking about first principles thinking.
Isn't that the thing Elon Musk is always talking about?
It is.
I guess if anyone knows a thing or two about success, it's him.
Seriously. He's launched rockets, built electric cars, the whole 9 yards.
So we're trying to figure out if this first principles thinking thing is the secret sauce.
That's the mission. But first, maybe we should actually figure out what it is.
What is first principles thinking? Well, that's a great question.
Well, imagine taking something, anything, and breaking it down to its most basic, fundamental truths.
Okay, so like not just accepting things at face value.
Exactly. It's all about asking why, over and over and over again until you get to the core of what's really going on.
Like to the point where you're driving everyone around you crazy?
Yeah, kind of, except this time, all those why questions can actually lead to some pretty amazing insights.
Interesting. But can we get a little more concrete here? I need a real-world example to really wrap my head around this.
All right, how about this? Think about electric car batteries.
Oh, yeah, those things.
Everyone used to think electric car batteries were just way too expensive.
They were.
It was pretty much common knowledge back then that they just wouldn't be practical anytime soon.
But then Elon Musk came along.
Right. And instead of just accepting that as a fact,
He said, hold on a second.
he was like, why are they so expensive?
Yeah, was it all some big conspiracy to keep gas-guzzling cars on the road?
Not exactly. He decided to break down the cost of those batteries into their most basic components. The raw materials.
Oh, like lithium and nickel, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but wasn't that stuff all super rare and expensive?
Turns out no.
What, really?
The materials themselves were actually pretty cheap.
If the materials weren't the problem, then what was making the batteries so expensive?
Well, the real issue was the manufacturing process. The technology and processes they were using back then, they were just super inefficient and costly.
So that's where all of Musk's fancy gigafactories come into play, right?
Exactly. By designing a much more efficient manufacturing process, he was able to just dramatically reduce the cost of producing those batteries, and that, of course, made electric cars way more affordable.
So he didn't discover some magical new material or anything?
Nope. He just changed the way things were done.
That's pretty amazing.
It is, and it really shows how powerful this kind of thinking can be.
Okay, but it still feels like something only a billionaire genius could pull off.
That's where you're wrong. First principles thinking. It's not just for rocket scientists and tech moguls.
You're saying I can use this to figure out, like, what to have for dinner?
Maybe not dinner, but you can definitely apply it to everyday problems and decisions.
You've got to give me an example.
Okay, how about something simple? Like making a sandwich.
Right, I'm listening.
Most of the time, we just go to the store, we buy our bread, we buy our cheese, we buy all the fixings.
Right, because who has time to bake their own bread these days?
But imagine for a second that you did go through that whole process. You grew your own wheat, you milled it into flour, you baked the bread yourself, you got your own tomatoes and lettuce, you raised a cow to get the cheese.
Okay, hold on.
I know, it's a lot.
That's a lot of work for one sandwich.
But think about it, you would have a completely different understanding of the cost and effort that goes into every single ingredient.
I guess I would.
And more importantly, you'd start to see things from a whole new perspective.
Like what?
You'd realize that the convenience of just buying those pre-made ingredients comes at a price. We pay for that convenience.
So by breaking down that process, I'm uncovering all those hidden costs and trade-offs.
You got it. And that's really a key part of first principles thinking, right? It helps us understand the underlying reasons for why things are the way they are.
I think I'm starting to see how this could be useful, but I still feel like we're mostly talking about Elon Musk and sandwiches.
Well, fair enough, but that's just the beginning.
There's more.
Oh, yeah.
How does this actually apply to my life, my goals, my dreams?
That's what we're going to explore next.
I am intrigued.
But first, maybe we should take a little sip of our drinks.
Oh, yeah, probably a good idea.
So are you ready to put this first principles thinking into practice?
I am. But I have to admit, I'm still a little fuzzy on how I can actually use this to level up my life?
Well, think about it this way. First principles thinking, it can help you break free from all those assumptions that might be holding you back in life.
Okay, what kind of assumptions are we talking about here?
Oh, it could be anything. Maybe you're stuck in a job you absolutely hate, but you're too afraid to quit because you think you need the security.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Right. But how would first principles thinking help in that situation?
I don't know, you tell me.
Well, it would start by asking yourself why. Why do you feel so stuck? Is it really just about the money? Or are there other fears, other beliefs that are actually at play here?
I mean, fear of failure's got to be a big one, right?
Absolutely.
And what about worrying about what other people will think?
That's another big one.
It's hard to just ignore all that.
It is, but are those fears based on solid fact, or are they just assumptions you've been carrying around with you for years?
That's a good point. I guess first principles thinking would kind of force me to examine all those beliefs and see if they're actually true.
Exactly. And once you've questioned those assumptions, then you can start building a new path for yourself, a path that's based on what truly matters to you.
So instead of staying stuck in that soul-crushing job, I could use first principles thinking to figure out what kind of work would actually make me happy.
Precisely.
Okay, and then what?
Well, then you start taking those small steps to make it happen. Maybe you take a class, you learn a new skill, or even just start talking to people in fields that you're interested in.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But what about something like, I don't know, money? Everyone wants financial freedom, but it can feel so out of reach sometimes.
Guess what?
Right.
First principles thinking can help with that too.
Okay, I'm all ears. How does it work?
It all starts with questioning what wealth really means to you. Is it about having millions of dollars in the bank? Or is it about having the freedom to do what you love?
For me, it's definitely about freedom. Having the time and resources to travel, pursue my passions, and not be tied down to a 9-to-5 grind.
There you go. And once you've defined what wealth really means to you, then you can start breaking down those big, scary financial goals into smaller, more achievable steps.
So instead of feeling completely overwhelmed by the idea of becoming a millionaire, I can focus on, paying off debt, saving a certain amount each month, or finding ways to increase my income.
Exactly. It's all about taking control of your finances and making choices that really align with what's important to you.
This is starting to click for me. So we've covered career, we've covered money. What about, health and fitness?
Oh, that's a great example. There's so much noise and conflicting information out there about what it means to be healthy.
It can be so confusing. It seems like every day there's a new diet fad, workout trend, or some miracle supplement that's promising amazing results.
Right. But first principles thinking, it encourages you to cut through all that noise and just focus on what truly matters for your health.
So instead of blindly following the latest trends, I should be asking myself, what does being healthy actually mean to me?
Exactly. Is it about losing weight, gaining muscle, having more energy, or simply just feeling good in your own skin?
For me, it's all about feeling good and having the energy to do all the things that I love.
And what kind of activities bring you joy and make you feel energized?
Well, I love hiking and dancing, and I've recently gotten into doing yoga in the park.
Love that.
Yeah, it's been great.
So instead of forcing yourself to go to the gym and do workouts that you hate, you can focus on activities that you genuinely enjoy.
I'm really starting to see how all of this ties together. It's about questioning all those default settings that society throws at us and creating a life that's actually aligned with our own values and goals.
Exactly. It's about becoming the author of your own story rather than just following someone else's script.
I love that. This is seriously inspiring stuff, but it also sounds like a lot of conscious effort.
Well, it definitely requires some mental heavy lifting, but it's not about becoming some kind of logic machine or anything.
Okay, good, because I don't think I could pull that off.
Me neither.
So what is it about then?
It's about cultivating a mindset of curiosity and questioning.
So instead of just going through the motions every day, I need to be more present and intentional with my choices.
Exactly, and that's where the real magic happens.
Okay, I'm totally sold on this first principles thinking thing, but can I be honest? I think I need a little more inspiration.
What do you mean?
Do you have any real-life examples of people who've used this to achieve amazing things?
You bet I do, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so imagine this. You're an engineer, super smart, you have a stable job, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds pretty good to me. What's the catch?
Well, this particular engineer, he also had this lifelong passion for art. Deep down, he always wanted to be a painter.
Ooh, Ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like most people would probably just stick with the safe career path.
Exactly. But not this guy. He decided to apply first principles thinking, and he asked himself, why? Why am I settling for a job that just doesn't fulfill me?
So he was basically questioning that whole idea of success.
Exactly. He realized that true success for him, it wasn't about money or prestige. It was about expressing his creativity and sharing his art with the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But also kind of terrifying. I mean, just quitting your job to become an artist, that's a huge risk.
It is a big risk. But remember, first principles thinking isn't just about questioning things. It's also about reasoning and planning.
So he didn't just blindly leap into the unknown.
Nope. He used first principles thinking to actually create a plan.
What kind of plan?
Well, he started by taking those small steps. He took art classes. He started building a portfolio. He started connecting with other artists.
And eventually he was able to transition into a fulfilling career as a full-time artist.
He did. And it's a great example of how first principles thinking can help you break free from those limiting beliefs and actually achieve what you truly desire.
I love that story. Okay, do you have any more?
Okay, here's one that really resonated with me. It's about this couple who achieved financial freedom through, wait for it, minimalist living.
Minimalism, like getting rid of all their stuff.
Pretty much. But it wasn't just about decluttering their house. They applied first principles thinking to their entire approach to money.
So instead of chasing bigger salaries and fancier possessions, they asked themselves what really mattered.
Exactly. They realized that for them, wealth, it wasn't about material things. It was about having the freedom to travel, to spend time with loved ones, and to pursue their passions.
So they basically downsized their lifestyle and all their expenses.
Exactly. They sold their big house, they got rid of all the stuff they didn't need, and they started focusing on experiences rather than just accumulating more and more stuff.
And that allowed them to reach financial independence.
It did. By simplifying their lives, they were able to just drastically reduce their expenses and save a significant portion of their income, and that gave them the freedom to work less and actually pursue their dreams.
That's amazing. It just shows that financial freedom is totally possible, even if you're not earning a six-figure salary.
It really is. It's all about aligning your lifestyle with your values and really prioritizing what truly matters to you.
I am so inspired by all these stories. It really feels like you can apply first principles thinking to any area of life.
Absolutely. It's like this universal tool for problem solving, for decision making, and just for creating a life that you truly love.
Well, I know I'm definitely going to be more conscious about asking why from now on.
That's the spirit. And speaking of asking why, you know who else is really good at that? Our friend Micky from the Mickytolife YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. I heard he's been experimenting with AI for his latest video.
He has. He actually used AI to create a short film, which is pretty mind-blowing, if you ask me.
It's like he's using technology to question the traditional ways of storytelling.
Exactly. And that's what we love about Micky. He's always pushing those boundaries and exploring new ideas.
He really is. If you guys aren't already subscribed, you should definitely check out his channel.
Yes. Tons of great content on there, travel, whiskey, and all sorts of other interesting topics. A little something for everyone.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into first principles thinking today, we want to leave you with a final thought. What truths in your own life need to be questioned? What assumptions are holding you back?
It's time to get curious. It's time to start asking why. And it's time to start building a life that truly reflects who you are and what you want to achieve.
That's it for this episode of Sip and Talk. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.